Welcome everyone. My name is Mayur Mistry and I would be your host for today's webinar about how OpenLM SLM can monitor, manage, control Sentinel RMS licenses. The purpose of this presentation is to provide an overview of how OpenLM integrates with Sentinel RMS license managers and the benefit it brings to your license management process. Effective license management is a crucial for optimizing the use of software assets, reducing costs, and ensuring compliance with the licensing agreements. Let's dive into the details. We will also explore how OpenLM can assist in the process, including features like license harvesting and live reports. We will have this session for 15 to 20 minutes and then it will be open for Q&A. We would like to have an interactive session so that at any point of time, if you have any questions, feel free to post it in the Q&A session section or the chat section. So moving ahead. Okay, let's first go through the agenda of today's webinar, that what are the things we would be covering. So first, let's get an overview about the Sentinel RMS license manager. So this license manager is developed by Thales Group, is a robust solution for managing software licenses. It provides a comprehensive set of tools for secure and efficient license distribution and management. What are the key components and functionality of this license manager is the license manager is the core component that handles the distribution and monitoring of licenses. The license generator is used to create license files that can be distributed to the end user. Client libraries are integrated into your software application to enable communication with the license manager. Coming to the functionalities this license manager has, Sentinel RMS supports various licensing models like including the node locked, floating, and feature-based licenses. It ensures license compliance and provide mechanism to prevent unauthorized use of the software. So now the next would be that how OpenLM can help with this monitoring and how seamlessly OpenLM integrates with this Sentinel license manager to provide you with more reporting facilities and more statistic within the OpenLM. So OpenLM seamlessly integrates with the Sentinel RMS license manager, providing a unified platform for monitoring license usage across your organization. Now let's go one by one. What are the actual OpenLM will help you with the functions. So OpenLM offers real-time monitoring capabilities, allowing administrator to track license usage as it happens. This helps in identifying peak usage times and understanding usage patterns. Real-time data is crucial for making informed decisions about license allocation and addressing any potential issues promptly. Detailed reports and analytics will be provided by OpenLM. So comprehensive reports and analytics on license usage will be provided. These reports include usage statistic, license availability, and user activity. Detailed analytics helps in identifying underutilized licenses and optimizing license distribution to ensure that the resources are used efficiently. What are the benefits with the OpenLM? With real-time monitoring and detailed reporting, organizations can gain valuable insights into their license usage, leading to better management and cost savings. Now, as you know, that centralized license management is something which is a very much key pointer when it comes to the license monitoring. So OpenLM offers a centralized platform for managing all your Sentinel RMS licenses. So this centralization simplifies the administration process and provides a single point of control. Centralized management helps in maintaining an organized and efficient license management system, reducing the administrative burden. So also OpenLM will help in improving the license utilization by providing real-time monitoring, detailed reporting, and automation. OpenLM significantly improves license utilization. Organization can ensure that all the licenses are used effectively, reducing waste and optimizing resources. Cost saving is another factor. Improved utilization directly translates to cost saving by avoiding over provisioning and reclaiming unused licenses. Organizations can reduce their licensing cost as well. Additionally, automation and centralized management reduce administrative overhead, contributing to further saving, which also give us an enhanced compliance with licensing agreement in crucial and is crucial to avoid legal and financial penalties. OpenLM helps in maintaining compliance by providing visibility into license usage and ensuring that licenses are used according to their terms. Alerts and notification further assist in staying compliant by providing timely reminders about license expiration and usage limits. So these are some benefits, and these are the things what would be added once you start monitoring the Sentinel RMS license manager using the OpenLM. Now, moving ahead, I would be not going through the presentations that much, but I would just explain you the architecture or the basic architecture to start monitoring the RMS license managers using OpenLM. And then we will understand the different methods of monitoring the RMS licenses. There are two methods which I'll go deeply and explain that how actually you can achieve the monitoring using that methods. So the next presentation, the next slide contains the overall architecture of OpenLM. So this is an on-premise deployment of the OpenLM on the over the organization. So for the basic monitoring of the RMS license manager, you just need to have a database to store the data, which will be connecting from the license managers, a centralized component which we need to install on the centralized system which is called as OpenLM server, and a small program named as broker in order to start monitoring the RMS licensing. Now, when I'm talking about the monitoring, when I mentioned that there are two different methods to achieve this thing. So both the methods, one of the method can be done without having the broker install on the license servers, and one can be achieved using the broker installing on the license server. So license server would be installed with the small program named as OpenLM broker, and there would be a centralized component along with the database, which is OpenLM server on a central server. Now, moving ahead, if you want to do the license harvesting, which is again a very important part when it comes to the optimization of licenses or reducing the licenses which are idling throughout the organization, then in that case, we need to have the workstation agents installed on the end user workstations, which is again a very small program to be installed on the end user workstation. Then this interface, what we were talking previously, the centralized console where you can see all the license managers in one go. So that can be accessed with your browser, local browser, which can be which could be Chrome, Mozilla, or Edge. So any of these browsers can help you to access the OpenLM Easy Admin interface, which helps in turn to show you all the license manager in a single place. So this is a bit of overview about the architecture of OpenLM or the deployment which will require in order to monitor the RMS license manager. Moving ahead, the two methods which we were talking in the are, one is that you can monitor the RMS license manager using remote sampling, in which you don't, if you see on the left hand side, the diagram over there is depicting that how you can monitor the RMS license manager without using the broker. So the technique which we use to monitor this is called as remote sampling. In this, what we do is we simply use the OpenLM server in order to query or in order to connect the license server on the license manager port, and we get the details from there, and that in turn is stored in the OpenLM database, where you can access this database on the console, which is called as Easy Admin Web Application or the interface. So this is one method. I would be briefly showing you that how this thing is set up with the help of the actual live console. And then the second method which we got over here is the monitoring license manager using the broker. Now, broker is a component which will be installed on the license server, which will interact with your license manager locally and then this data would be transferred to the OpenLM server, which is the OpenLM database. And in turn, you can see this particular information via the OpenLM Easy Admin interface. Now, the difference, or you can say there are some pros and also cons when you are not using the broker. Okay, so by if you are not using the broker, then the OpenLM server will be able to show you the license totals, like what are the total number of licenses and the license usage. So this option for interfacing RMS license manager is to have the OpenLM server query the license manager server directly. This is done remotely with the RMS command line tools. Using this option, however, limits the available data to only license totals and license usage. The second method, which is server plus broker, in this method, what will happen is the Sentinel RMS is is to have OpenLM broker query the license manager server locally. This is done through the RMS command line utilities, that is lsmon and l7, and any available RMS usage log files can be also monitored. Once this data is queried by broker, it is sent to the OpenLM server for processing using the options. Using this option, give you full monitoring capabilities over Sentinel RMS license manager. Additionally, using broker components allows for buffer communication and the ability to remotely start and stop the license manager services. So this is how the two method works. So broker is more effective in case of buffering the data, or if you lose any connection within the OpenLM server and the license manager license server, then buffer is the capability to store that data in a form of buffer files, and later on when the connection is established, you can broker can send all this data back to the OpenLM server. So this is how it works. Now, moving ahead, the next thing which I would like to cover is the harvesting. So we can also harvest the Sentinel RMS licenses. Now, first, let's understand that what is harvesting. So license harvesting is a proactive way to reclaim licenses of expensive application sitting idle on the engineer's workstation. This helps in maximizing the utilization of purchased licenses and reducing the need for additional licenses. OpenLM's license harvesting feature automatically detects the idle sessions, idle licenses, and reclaim them, ensuring that your resources are used effectively. Now, when it comes to the idle time monitoring and harvesting, we have two methods available for harvesting the OpenLM, harvesting the Sentinel RMS licenses. Now, the basic license harvesting method of OpenLM implemented involves two actions. One is first identify the idle open application session, and second is releasing the license in order to improve the license utilization. Now, and open application sessions consume a license. However, it is always not in use. So this is how the idling, what exactly is an idling session means is that when a user starts using a particular application, he acquires a license. But it could happen that he starts using an application A, or he opens up an application A, and then he starts using the other application named as application B. But what happens is, meanwhile when he's using the application B, he's leaving the application A in an idle status. Now, when it is in idle state, the license is getting occupied, but it's not in use. So OpenLM can identify such instances of idle session and help in assessing the license usage efficiently. Now, so implementing the harvesting mainly involves installing of the program, as I mentioned, workstation agent on the end user workstation. And there are two procedures or two methods we can use in case of RMS license managers. One is the agent procedure. It is a general purpose license retrieval which can be used. It can be used for closing the floating licenses, but it will not be able to save the work, but it will close the session impromptly on the end user workstation. The second method is called as remote close. Remote close is a method where this can be done manually by any license administrator who can access the OpenLM Easy Admin. So he can simply go to the Easy Admin. He can check if that user is idling, and he can simply go and manually close his session using the OpenLM interface. So what exactly the remote close does is that remote license closing is it runs the lm remove command to clear the licenses that are shown in use, and the application cannot be run longer. So this will release the active licenses from that user system. Okay, so I will quickly switch to the interface, the OpenLM Easy Admin interface, to showcase that how these two methods can be configured, or how the OpenLM can be configured with the monitoring for Sentinel RMS licenses. So as you can see, this is the interface which we call as Easy Admin interface. This is accessible by the hostname colon the port 5015. Right now, I would like to show you that this is the console where we are centrally monitoring the different license manager, which we are using the brokers or the remote sampling to monitor that license managers. Now, to begin with, let's go through the first method, that how we will implement or how we can monitor the RMS using the remote sampling method. So in that case, first thing what we need to do is we will have, as you know, that we need to select we need to provide the license managers tool in order to monitor that particular license manager. So you need to simply go to the start administration. After going to administration, you need to click on license manager servers. Over here you see there are two tabs. One is LM servers and LM tools. So going to LM tools, we have the list of license managers which we are supporting or which we can monitor. So over here you need to select the RMS. Once you select the RMS, you need to give the path of the lsman.exe file, the executable file, in order to first set up the executable file, which will be helping the OpenLM to monitor the license manager on the license server. So once you set up this path, you need to just click on save. After setting this up, you will go to LM servers on this tab. Now, if you will see, there is a add LM option provided over here. The display name can be random name, which would be anything which you would like to input as. So this is a free field. You can input as RMS license manager or like that. So I will just put it as RMS license manager. Then you need to select the type of the license manager. So in our case, it is RMS. So just select the license manager. Now we are not going to use broker for monitoring the license manager. So you can simply clip this blank. And after that, you need to give more information like what is the host name where this license manager is hosted. So license server's host name, the port via which you would be monitoring the RMS license manager, and the time zone of that particular license server. Once you are done with this information, providing this information, and also you need to enter the vendor name over in this section. After inputting this detail, you can click on test. After clicking on test, you will be able to see the output, which would be showing you the usage of that particular RMS license manager. Once the test output is correctly established and connection is established, you can simply click on save. After clicking on save, you would be able to see that particular license manager in this monitor list. So once you set up that, you would be able to see the usage for that particular license manager in this license manager servers window. So this is the first method. The second method what we have for monitoring is uh, is the is using the broker. So for using the broker, once you install the broker on the license server, you can access the broker interface web UI using the hostname colon 5090 port. Once you enter this interface, you would be able to first add that particular license manager over here. Okay, just a moment. I need to stop sharing my screen. I will reshare the screen. Okay, just a moment. Okay, yeah. So once you are able to get into the OpenLM broker web UI, you would have to add that particular license server, sorry, the OpenLM server over here. Once we add that, you would be able to see there are three options over there: OpenLM servers, license managers, and setting. So once you add or once you connect the OpenLM server with this broker interface, you need to go to the second option, which is license managers. Coming to license managers, if you can also use this detect option. So OpenLM broker is capable of detecting multiple license managers on that particular license server. So if you use the detect, it could also detect the license manager automatically. And if it is not detecting it automatically, then you can simply click on this add license manager. Once you click on add license manager, you need to select the particular license LM type, license manager type, and provide the port number. After you provide the port number, you can select, you can click on, just a moment, I'll put some random port. So after providing the port number, you can see there are multiple tabs enabled over here. So in this particular tab, you need to first give the executable path, that is where that ls1 or the ls7 license file is present. Then you need to provide, after providing that details, you can check if this particular license manager has got successfully configured by clicking on the execute status and data inquiry. Once these outputs are come as successful, you can go to the next step where you need to add the vendor. After adding the vendor, you can go to the next step, which is also you can add the log file for the license manager, that is RMS license manager. You can simply click on the add log file. You can select, you can go to the log file path, select that path, provide the vendor name, and then you can click on continue. After giving all these details, the license manager would be configured successfully. Once you click on save, you would be able to see this particular license manager entry here to get an approval on the OpenLM Easy Admin interface. So you can simply click over here. You would be able to find that entry in this particular window where it would be waiting for your approval. Once you find that entry, you need to simply click on edit and click on approve. After you click on approve, it would be added in this list and your RMS license manager would be started getting monitored. So this is how you configure the or the RMS license manager using the remote sampling and using the broker. Now the other things, after you configure the license manager, what are the things you can get it from this interface is that you can get the currently consumed licenses, which is like the live report that what are the users who are using that license at that point of time by simply clicking on this hyperlink. So this is again a very good report which will give you the current usage of the particular user. Now if you scroll to the right, as I mentioned, that you would be able to manually close the remove the license of the idle sessions. So once we set up the idle session monitoring, this particular option, which is grayed out, would be populated. And then you can simply click on this remove license to get the license removed of that particular user directly from this easy admin interface. So this is one use case. Now, the other thing what I would like to showcase, that I mentioned that we can also harvest. So I showed you the remotely closing the session option over here. Now, how do we come to know that the licenses are idling? We need to set up the particular application in this process features. So let's take an example, any one of these applications. So as you can see, there are parameters which are required in order to monitor the sessions. You need to specify the process name of that particular application, the vendor name, the description is a free field. You have to enable this particular checkbox, the second checkbox, and the third one. Now let's begin with this third checkbox, which is track process idle active time. So this is the place where you will be specifying the time where after how much time would you like to consider that session as idle time. So this is where you will specify the minutes of that. Then the second one is enable automatic license release functionality. So in case of the RMS license manager, the thing what you can use to release the licenses is procedure. Under that, you can use the kill process method to release the licenses. Also, you will have to specify the threshold, that after how much percent of usage rate you would like to start releasing the licenses over here. And the second condition is that what would be the threshold to minimal idle time before releasing the license in minutes. The parameters which are considered in order to monitor this particular process are these three parameters, that is processor time, input output data operation per second, and percentage user usage time. So these are the percentages, or these are the parameters which we take in consideration to monitor the idle time of the application. Now, this is it about the license harvesting and how are things done. So let's go back to the presentation. So you can drop your queries. Just a moment. Maybe I'll have to restart the sharing. Okay, sharing the screen once again. Yep. Okay. So what is the conclusion of this license monitoring, RMS license manager monitoring using OpenLM? So it will enable you for effective management. So OpenLM helps you to manage Sentinel licenses effectively, ensuring that you make the most of the resources while minimizing the cost. We are getting the real-time monitoring, where in the real-time monitoring you can gain immediate insights into how licenses are being used, allowed to address any issues proactively, and ensure optimal resource allocation. Then you can also get the strategic decision making. So OpenLM provides detailed analytics that supports strategic decision making for license procurement. This ensures that your planning and budgeting are based on actual usage trends, helping you to avoid unnecessary expenses. It will also give you an upper hand in operational efficiency by centralizing license management. OpenLM simplifies administrative tasks and automates routine processes, leading to improved productivity and efficiency across the organization. So now the forum is open for question and answer. So if anyone has any queries or question related to this, please feel free to ask. The forum is open. Okay, so we have one question, that how does OpenLM handle the reporting of borrowed licenses and why it is important for managing Sentinel RMS licenses effectively? So OpenLM handles the reporting of borrowed licenses by tracking when licenses are checked out and when they are expected to be returned. This is important because it helps organization monitor off-network usage, ensuring that borrowed licenses are efficiently utilized and returned on time. Okay. So, how does OpenLM assist in monitoring license usage? So, OpenLM provides the real-time monitoring capabilities and allowing administrator to track license usage as it happens. So, this helps in identifying the peak usage and also the understanding the usage patterns, which is crucial for making informed decision about license allocation and addressing potential issues promptly. Okay. Okay, so as we have No further questions. So moving ahead, these are the upcoming webinars going to be conducted in this month. You can simply go to our website openlm.com and register for the same. You can also find the link to the webinar page in the chat, webinar page on the website itself. Also, we have started with our newsletter. We are sending out this newsletter every month. Hopefully, you have registered for it. If you have not yet, then you can scan this QR code, which you can see on the screen, and subscribe to our newsletter. Or else, you can provide us with your email address by sending it to the info@openlm.com, and we will be happy to add your email to the newsletter, to the newsletters. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining the session and have a nice day ahead.